So I got into tactical shooting when I was in California, and there wasn't much you could get there. And I was taught that every gun needs a light, a sight, and a sling. And when I added a scope to my fighting AK, it was all the way up here. And in California, you couldn't have a pistol grip, which is crazy, but that's the way it was. So you had to learn to shoot without a thumb. And all this weight on the end of the gun made it really fatiguing, especially if you're practicing one-handed drills where if you gotten shot. So that really irked me on two fronts, that the best solution out there for scope mounting was all the way up here where you put a bunch of weight, that the scope was up there. Just nothing about it seemed really great. So I got to thinking, and right here seemed like a perfect place for a scope. And I realized that you could keep the rear notch and add a Picatinny rail and get rid of all of the moving parts that nobody uses anymore. Inside of 300 yards, you do not need to you can just do a little Kentucky windage and you're fine. So there are all these extra parts that tend to get caught, and you know, legally you'd have a really hard time convincing any jury that somebody 300 yards away from you was posing a threat to your life. So from a defensive standpoint, the leaf there is extra, and the AK doesn't need extra. The AK is about being simple and working. So having a scope back here is simple, reliable, light. There's no extra weight. It just works. We take these off all the time. Put them back on, fine, zero. And if your scope ever goes down, quick release and you're back in the fight in under a second, which does happen. It's happened in training to me, even with an aim point. So it's a really nice feature. So we just ran some rounds through our new prototype of the Occam Defense rear sight tower for the RAS 47. And it ran like a top. The Picatinny rail mounting is great. The rear sight notch is great. These are billet. They look really good. It is form, fit, and finish identical to the RAS, except that we add in our patented 1913 rail that comes off if your optic goes down or if you don't want one, and reveals a front notch, or rear notch rather, that aligns with the factory rear notch setting.